Today we're covering the automation of your Facebook ads and your follow-up. We are gonna gain our time back, so make sure that you stay to the very end because there's some different nuances depending on the software that you're using that you don't wanna miss out. Hey, it's Jaime. If we're just meeting, welcome to the channel that brings actionable content to grow your business through online marketing. So if that sounds beneficial, consider subscribing. Now, before we get started, one quick disclaimer. There are so many different ways to automate. There are so many different software out there that will allow you to gain your time back. So simply because we're gonna choose the following software doesn't mean that if you don't have the software, this doesn't work for you. So be sure to hang in there because there's gonna be parts in this video that I'm gonna slow down considerably and give you some alternatives. So what we're gonna work with today is the Facebook ads lead generation strategy. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. And then we're also gonna work with kvcore, which is one of the most robust real estate CRMs out there. And then we're also gonna do some API Nation, which is gonna connect the Facebook to our kvcore for free. Who wouldn't want that? But I'm also going to show you some alternatives. Again, simply because you don't have this kvcore, don't worry about that. You can use alternative CRMs, and I'm going to show you some options there. And also, simply because you don't have API Nation as an example, you can use some alternative software that will do that as well, including some CRMs that go directly from the CRM to Facebook. So don't worry about it. I just want you to understand the concept above everything else, and then we can work around the rest. All right, so first things first, we need to launch a campaign. Now, fortuitously, we already have one ready to go, which has already run and is actually one that was relatively successful. I mean, 30 leads for $3 a piece, that's not bad, right? So this is a new construction ad, and I'll actually show you the exact ad copy so you don't accuse me of, well, I don't have the ad copy. There it is. All right, so what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna go to edit. We're gonna go super quickly because I just want you to understand key elements that trip people up the most. So as you can see here, this was a lead generation style campaign. So this is a lead generation ad. So let me X out of here because it's not a good way of showing you what I'm talking about. This type of connection that we're gonna go through today is the lead generation campaign because it includes a form that Facebook gives you to use. So whenever somebody clicks learn more, they end up on a form that you're able to input your information in, so or the client is. So that way you don't have to worry about your website, your landing page, or anything else. They stay on Facebook. So this is the connection that we're talking about. And I'll show you how to make other connections here shortly. Anyway, for us right now, we're gonna focus on the lead generation. So assuming that you've already created the campaign or are about to do that, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So here it was a lead generation campaign. And then I went and split tested various ad sets. So it's not gonna show us exactly which ones they were, but here you can see it was, I mean, it's trying to pull the information from everything. Using the page, it shows you where it was. Well, mixed values was different areas geographically. And then everything else here was pretty standard. So let me show you a little bit better. Let's X out of this. So I'll show you this one, the one that had no interest. So you see, it was a lead campaign, no interest, a 20-mile radius, and then this is my naming convention. So here it shows you where it ran, right here around Cleburne. I couldn't change anything here because of the special ad category. I didn't do anything with the interest, and I did all of these right here, I believe because it was retargeting, probably. But I did all of these placements right here. So as you can see, that's where it ran. And now we're gonna go here to the actual ad copy. So this is the ad copy that was run. So this is where the incentives that were happening in the area. So this is the exact ad that was run. So if you need to pause it and copy it, great. If you want to send me an email to admin@jaimeresendiz.com, do that and I'll send you the ad copy along with some additional steps. But what's important for you right here is I just want to get to this part because we're talking about systematizing the rest, the automation, right? So this is very important. So every single one of these forms is something we're going to connect to. So to show you and illustrate that, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to go Dallas just listed, and then I'll put YouTube here so I know, and I'm just going to create it. So the rest of it, I'll just show you what it looks like. Again, I just want you to see everything from as it was done. You get the super abbreviated version. I'm gonna link another video that's gonna show you how every single thing was done. I just want you to get to the actual ad creation and get that out of the way quickly so we can go to the rest of the video, the tutorial and the connection. So here we go. This was the settings. This is the intro. This was what was said. These were the questions that were asked. And this is a privacy policy. Make sure that you have a privacy policy. And this is the completion. So this is it. So if you need to copy it, great. If you don't want to copy it and just want to focus, dial in, just send me an email at admin, ADMIN. Did I spell that right? Admin, ADMIN, yeah, at Resendiz.com. All right, so this is a form that we're going to focus on right here. This is the one that we're going to use. And now, I'm not going to worry about publishing it. I just want this to be created, which it has. Now that we have the campaign ready to go, so this is the first step. You need to create your campaign. Now what's going to happen is we're going to go to our CRM. In this particular case, it's kvcore. So kvcore is one of the most robust CRMs out there. So this is the one that we're going to use right now. But simply remember, because we're using kvcore, doesn't mean that you can't use another one, that you can't use a Realty Juggler, that you can't use a Line Desk, that you can't use a Sync, that you can't use a Follow-Up Boss. I've worked with all of those before, and they work okay. I don't think that they're as good as this, but they work okay. So just make sure that you have a CRM that's going to send out the emails and send out the text. So if you have this exact setup, congratulations. If you like additional information about EXP and how this is actually included already in your fees and want to partner up with me so I can help with your lead generation personally, then it will be linked down below, so let me know. But with that being said, if you already have kvcore, consider yourself very, very lucky, because this is a phenomenal product that we're going to leverage today. And you get the exact blueprint of how to do this because we're going through it. So these are the exact same things that I and my team do for the agents that I work with. So you get the exact in-depth experience. So again, a like would go a long way, right? Anyway, so what we're doing now is we need to automate the emails and the text that we're going to send out. So what we have to do is create a smart campaign. They're commonly known as drips, right? So that's how you most likely know it. Now you get the system will give you some options right here. So there's plenty of libraries, or a library that has plenty of follow-ups, where if you have an open house follow-up, if you have the conversion defaults follow-up, the buyer follow-up. So you have these already. You don't have to create your own. But in the event that you do, what you're going to do is go to your templates. And this is where we create our email templates and our text templates and all that fun stuff. So if you happen to have my 30-day buyer drip campaign, so this is my drip campaign. If you want access to it, it'll be linked down below. Now, if you want this particular one, again, it's linked down below. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to use this as a template. So I'm going to say subject, thank you. And I'm going to add a template right here. I'm going to go to email, and I'm going to go to, I'm going to say YouTube real quick, just so I know this. And then I'm going to put E1, day 0, and then thank you. All right, so it's going to be me, and then here I'm going to put thank you. So I'm labeling this template. Now, if you're using this verbatim, understand that this is just a placeholder. This is not a code. It will not work with this CRM or any other CRM out there. I use the brackets just to denote that it's a placeholder. So it's your own dynamic item needs to be done. Your own dynamic field needs to be input directly from here. So let's just go through here. If I use the general layout, which you're more than welcome to do. Oops. Let me X out of here. Oh, I don't like that at all. There we go. So I control pasted right here. And now you see the name. What we're going to do with the name is we're going to let that go away. And I'm going to go here to the insert tag. I'm going to go to the leads. Oops. I'm going to go to the leads first name. All right. That came out bad. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to the first name. Then I'm going to put comma. All right. So that now this is dynamic, right? So first name. I hope you're having a great day. First, I want to thank you for your property inquiry. So this doesn't make sense because it's through Facebook. So I want to thank you for your interest on my Facebook property, or on the Facebook property, or the property highlighted on Facebook, the property highlighted on Facebook. Or you can put new homes highlighted on Facebook. I wanted to send you a quick email just so you know I received your property inquiry. So again, this is more of the first email is going to be the one that you need to edit the most, because again, this drip is designed to be a 30-day drip, and as you can see here, the cadence of it. But the first email is really the only one that you're going to need to edit, because you are advertising different lead magnets. You could be advertising the floor plans like you're kind of seeing here with the new construction ad. You could be advertising a just listed. You could be advertising a just sold. So you need, well, just sold would be for seller leads, but a price drop ad. So depending on what you're advertising, that's what's going to go on here. So if you were doing, as an example, a just listed, promising additional information on the home that you're highlighting there, then here what you're going to do is, here are the details I promised you. All right, so if you do not have a way to create a single property website, that's okay. That is fine. But if you do, which kvcore does, I'll show you a little trick here. But at the end of the day, you want to create a little link here that goes back to you. So you either share the MLS listing of the property that you're highlighting or whatever, but you want to include a link here because you're delivering on what you promised. In this particular example, since this was a new home, then the strategy would be to include additional information on the new home community. So that's where you would put that link. And you can create that asset or that lead magnet on Google Drive, on a Dropbox, on something else. That's completely okay. But we're not going to get too mired down here. I'll show you a little hack there. Thank you again. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to add that template. So we have just created it. So now we can see here, YouTube. Oops, I've made several, right? So YouTube E1 D0. All right, so D means day, and then thank you. All right, so let's add another quick template the other way. Just depends on what you like. Let's just say email number 2. Where is it? Email number 2 right here. Any questions? Wait, was this email 2 or email 3? Day 2, text 3. Email 3. Ba-ba-bum. Oh, I didn't even follow my own. Okay, so it's going to be, this will be email 2, day 1. So it's you delivering the goods. So it's actually email 2. So I'll let you read through that when you pick up the template. But look at me almost screwing that up. All right, so I'm going to go with YouTube. I'm going to go with, technically this is E3, so I do need to abide by that. And day 3. I'm going to go E3. So email 3, day 3, and then the subject. And now here, I'm just going to put any questions. Oh, well, it's going to delete it. So I'm going to go to the advanced editor so you see what it looks like. So it's a different way to create an email. So you can put an image there, you can put a video there, you can put your socials there, you can put another video here, whatever you want. But for our purposes, what I'm going to do is going to come back here, go to email 3, and you're going to see here, it's pretty universal here. There's not going to be much editing that you need to do at this point. So again, you can read it on your own. If you're interested, it will be linked down below. So you have the entire setup there. Now I'm going to breeze right through this because I don't want to make this a too long of a video. So I'm just going to show you kind of how I format it. And of course I would read this a lot better, but for your convenience, I'm just gonna go through here and do some cleaning up of editing. All right, cool. We're just gonna leave it at this. I haven't even read what it says right now, but we're gonna be okay. All right, so there we go. Let's just pretend that was good. All right, so we just said first name, all that fun stuff. And to add the first name, I just went to merge, and then this is like dynamic aspect. So remember, anything that's in the brackets if you download this, that's right here, the name, and it's in the brackets. That's something that you have to edit yourself. All right, so for our purposes, I'm just gonna leave that as that because we're not going to send this out. I just want you to see. So YouTube. All right, so template 3 is done. Now we're going to add another template. Now we're going to go to SMS, so that's your text. So we would go back here. Again, your text on this one is really not going to be that difficult. So you go, hi, name, hope you're having a great day. Thanks for your interest in blank. Would you prefer to talk now or later? So you can't read that very well there, but I'll go ahead and put it here. I'll put YouTube T1, text 1, day 0. And then I'm going to put, what was it? Send immediately. All right, so it's going to go from me. All right. And check this out. Notice what I just did. I put that little fancy bracket, and this works just for kvcore. Depending on what you have, it's going to look a little bit different, but I put a little open bracket so you can provide a dynamic field in text. A lot of people don't know that, but you can. So you're going to go with first name. All right, so hi, first name. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for your interest in blank address. For our purposes, since this is a new construction, we're just going to put in the new builds from Facebook. Would you prefer to talk now or would later be better? All right, so we're going to add that template. So again, text 1, D0, send immediately. All right, so you see how to create a text. And then for you to find the text later, you just go to text right there. All right, so what we've done is created our templates. That's what we're going to use. So if you download this, then you're going to have to copy all of that and create it over here on your templates. But now we're going to create the campaign. Now hang in there with me. This is going to start speeding up very quickly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a campaign. And anytime something is moved to a hashtag, that's when we want to trigger it. Because if we put when a lead is new, well, you could be running a new construction ad, a just listed ad, a just sold ad, a whatever ad, everything else. That's not going to work because then you're going to be firing off all these different automations or this campaign that we have. It's not going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to add, what are we going to add? We're going to put YouTube new home. All right, so YouTube new home. That is our hashtag. Anytime somebody types that in, it's going to fire off. I'm sorry, anytime we tag this, which you'll see how to do here in a couple seconds, that's gonna fire off. So we're gonna go to next. We're gonna say that it's a buyer. The campaign name is, I'm just gonna call it YouTube. And then you have to put something in the description. So I'm gonna put YouTube, always run yes, lock no, go to next, review, add the campaign. All right, so now that you have that, you just created the campaign. Now I'm gonna go to 50 rows and then I'm gonna search for it because I cannot find it. YouTube, this was it. We just created this. So you see, make sure that the status is on. So you flipped it on, yes. Click on this real quick just so you see it. And we've flipped this on. And now look at the actions. We don't have any. So what we need to do is we're gonna pull in those emails. We're gonna say when we want those to fire off. So here I'm gonna put just email, YouTube, email 1, day 0, and whatever that one was. Thank you. So notice how I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. It's gonna save you so much time down the road. So now we're gonna pull in that template that we created. And I believe it was this one, YouTube email 1, right? Yep. And now let's see. View this template. This is the one that we created. Oh, nope, that's not it. What did we call it? See, even I screw up. Oh, here we go. I was wondering. There we go. Cool. So now we view the template. There we go. That's the one that we created. Oh, and I'll come back to the link in 2 seconds. So coming from the agent, contact, run immediately. This is the one that we want to fire off quickly. So we're going to go there. If I didn't want it to fire off quickly, then I would delay it by a minute, by an hour, by day, however long you wanted. And then you would put that. So if I said I want it to fire off a minute after the lead comes in, perfect. But what I want is to fire immediately, and that goes away. So I just added, fix the errors and try again. What errors? Oh, okay. I unhighlighted agent. What's going on? All right, so we can troubleshoot this. That's okay. Let's refresh this. Let's try this again. Email. I'm just going to put YouTube email 1 just for the sake of it. YouTube. There we go. Agent to contact, run immediately. There we go. So a simple refresh, that's all it took. Now we're going to go back, get the other email. So I'm just going to put YouTube email 3. So I'm going to go to YouTube here. Again, we're pulling in those templates that we just created. But now this one was a day after, remember, right? Or several days, day 3. So this is going to go days 3. So on the 3rd day, that's when we want. So there we go. We're going to add it. Now let's add a text real quick. This text was supposed to go out quickly. So I'm just going to put T1. Sorry, I just want to speed through this because it's something that is important, but I want to make sure that we get everything in before I lose the audience, right? So we're going to do YouTube, text 1, send immediately, flip this on. You can view the template if you want. We're just going to add it. All right. So what you've done is you've gone and created the templates, and then you've created the campaign that's going to initiate everything. And it's going to initiate as soon as you put in YouTube new home. Oops, let me copy everything. So as soon as you label something like this, you are good to go. Now let me show you something pretty cool about that first email. Remember that email had a little link right here that was missing, right? So I would go back to templates. We're not going to do that now, but I'm going to go to lead engine, and I'm going to go to squeeze page right over here, start building, and I would go to single property website. Now I would put the MLS ID right here, and then I would put never right here. So I'm going to create a single property website. So if I was advertising a just listed or a price drop that's on the MLS, since kvcore is connected to the MLS, I would just put the MLS ID right here, and then I would generate the link, and a short link would come out. But to give you an idea of what it's going to look like, I'll just go over here. I would say this one right here. Generate the link. This is what the single property website is going to look like. Now, don't go through the way that I just showed you right here. Just wanted to show you what a single property website looks like. As you can see here, it's your contact information. Here's your contact information. And then here we're giving credit to the actual listing agent. So that's what it's going to look like. But remember, to create that single property website, you're going to go here, you're going to start building, and then you're going to go to single property, and then you're going to put the MLS ID right here. You're going to go to never, generate the link, and this is the link that you're going to use. If you don't have this system, again, that's fine. But if you have the ability to create a single property website, that would be perfect because you're presenting the property incredibly well. So, but if you don't have any of that, then just forward yourself the MLS listing like as if you were doing that for a client. Because whenever you search on the MLS, you forward that property onto your client. We'll use that URL so it presents well. You don't want to send the leads that you get directly to the builder or directly to the Zillow or directly to Redfin, because that's a great way for other people to take your leads. That's not what you want. All right, so that was a little bit of tangent. Again, it just depends on the property that you're advertising, whether it's a just listed, just sold, new construction, which is what we're doing right now. This wouldn't work all that well for that. You would have to create your own asset, your own lead magnet. But now that we've created that, now we have the option. Now that we've created that, now we have the option of, now that we have this ready to go, we have our drip campaign, or smart campaign as it's known here on kvcore, and we already have our Facebook ad. We need to connect these two. If you have kvcore, the easy way and the free way to do it is through API Nation. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. However, you have options. If you don't happen to have kvcore and you have another CRM that doesn't have a direct connection, or if you have kvcore and would rather use another connection, then you can always use Zapier. Zapier is a connector of many different software. There's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. So again, it goes back to the beginning of the video that even if you don't have kvcore, even if you don't have API Nation, it doesn't matter. You can use Zapier to do some automations for you. So this is, I'll give you an example. for those clients that don't have a CRM, as an example, well, I actually set up a Zapier to where an email goes out automatically as soon as a lead comes in. So it's kind of acting like a email autoresponder in a way. So you can automate the leads going out directly to the client with your promised information as you're pulling in the leads from Facebook. So that's one way of doing it. But you can also connect it to any CRM that you have out there. There's options. There's millions of iterations that you can go through. So Zapier is a great way to do it. But what I'm going to show you now is the API Nation because it's free. So I'm going to put API Nation. I'm going to add it to kvcore. It's going to ask me, what do you want to do? I want to connect it to Facebook leads. So kvcore plus Facebook leads. It's going to ask me to log in. And now that we're in, we're going to scroll down to start the configuration. So we see here the page that we want to use. Now we're going to select the form. So as you remember, we did the Dallas, just listed, YouTube. So we're going to hit save just for good measure. And we're going to go down here. Now is when we start mapping out whatever we asked over here on the Facebook ad and match it up to the kvcore, so where we want it to go. So as you can see here, it automatically finds some elements so you don't have to guess. So we're going to go with phone number. I like going to cell phone. Either one's going to work, so either phone or cell phone, whatever you think you're going to get the most of. If you want to be sure, you can just go to phone. That's fine if you don't know. So anyway, so you're going to have first name and then the email and the phone number. And then something else that we want to make sure that we're asking or addressing right up front is routing this particular ad or the added campaign to kvcore. So this way, with that hashtag that we added, we know that the email drips that we set up a couple of minutes ago are going to be firing off to the correct with the correct message. So we're going to go to custom field. Here we're going to put hashtag. And then we're going to go here. Actually, we're not. We're going to add a hashtag. So we're going to name it hashtag field, add field. So custom hashtag right there. So we're going to click on that. You can see that it's green at this moment. And now we're going to go to note, and that's how we make the connection. So just as a quick recap, we did the first name to first name, email to email, phone number to phone number, and then the hashtag is us selecting the hashtag that we want to fire off whenever we get that lead. So that way, if you're running a just listed ad, it sends out the just listed campaign. If you're running a price drop ad, it runs that campaign. If you're running a just sold ad, whatever it happens to be, you have everything firing off on the right cylinder, so you don't have to manually set up any of these automations. So we're gonna go to save, and then now it kind of has a custom code, so it's gotten pretty complicated. We're gonna activate our sync, and there you go. Now it's off and running. Now, if you want to check your syncs down the road, you can just go here, and then you can go to your syncs and figure out which ones are running and which ones are not. So this is the one that we just activated. These are ones that have been paused, and I highly suggest that you clean this up as much as possible because there's no way to label these. So if you run some ads that you know you're not going to run ever again, then come in here to the workflow and delete those. So that's what I have to come in here periodically and do, delete them, and then just pause ones that I may come back to in the very near future. That way I don't have Facebook lead ads into kvcore, Facebook lead ads into kvcore, Facebook lead ads into kvcore, all that at once. So that's what it takes. That's all it takes. I know that we went pretty, it might be a little bit longer video, but we went pretty intensive with our time together. Now we just X out of that, we X out of that, and everything is set up at this point. What we have done is we have created our Facebook ad. That was super important. We needed that to launch everything. That's where we're gonna get our leads. Then we set up our drip campaign. We set up our emails and our text. So remember, if you want access to the buyer drips, they will be linked down below. And also there's some seller drips down below, so make sure to pick those up. So we set those up, and then we created the campaign. So remember, we did the templates, then we created the campaign, and we activated the campaign. So make sure, bear with me, this is worth re-mentioning here. So when you go to start a campaign, make sure that it is on. Make sure that it is on, because you would be surprised. So which one was it? Right here. So YouTube. So this one, that we just created, make sure that it's on. So right here it says on. So what's going to happen most of the time whenever you're getting leads and you're trying to troubleshoot, well, you need to come back here and make sure that it is on, that's reflected by the status. So give yourself that leeway. So what we have done there is we've set up our campaign, and now after we set up our campaign, we came back here to API Nation to make the connection. So we created the ad, then we created our follow-up campaigns and our follow-up sequence, and then we needed to connect them. And that is exactly what we have done with API Nation. You can use API Nation, it's absolutely free if you have this software, but kvcore, but you can also use Zapier if you have another CRM out there. Simply because you have kvcore, simply because you don't have kvcore, if that happens to be you, doesn't mean that this video won't be beneficial for you. You can use another software. You can use Realty Juggler. You can use Follow Up Boss. You can use anything else and then connect them. It's gonna work very similar to what you're seeing right here. The concept, the fundamentals is absolutely the same everywhere. Well, now you know how to automate your business and automate your follow-up. It's time to launch an ad. So I'll leave a video right here that's going to help you do that. Also, if you found value today, please be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss another video. And of course, make your best day yet.